welcome to Nathan But the Truth. Okay, you guys, let's talk about the big picture, the grand scheme of things. You know how I'm always talking about that bubble that these white folks in America live in, okay, that prompted them to just all look for a man that wants to destroy the constitutional rights, trample over all that stuff, because he says, oh, he speaks so negatively against the black and brown people. And that gets them excited, okay? Because I'll keep reading to you over and over and over again their reasoning, okay? They have good reason, okay, in their minds, all right? And what they say is, you're the problem. You and all those immigrants, okay? But let's talk about those immigrants or migrants or refugees, people in refuge, okay? Their countries, okay, have fallen to corruption at a grand scale. They have autocrats running their country. This is what they want to run the United States. Really corrupt people. One man makes all the decisions for every damn body. And he has a cluster of people around him to ensure out of favor, okay, that they receive from him to do untold things, just unimaginary. Let's take Venezuela, for instance. When the leader of Venezuela died, Hugo Chavez, the country went into disarray because Hugo Chavez ran his country autocracy. But he ran his country. He had a lot of resources, which is oil. It's the largest oil-rich country in the Americas. You know, when I say the Americas, I'm including North America, the United States, and Canada, all that. Oh, they got some oil down there. Well, the economy collapsed, corruption took over, and so now people can't work, they don't have money. So you can go to Venezuela now, and you can literally buy a human being for $100. Okay. That's a slave down there. It's horrible. And so they're running, and they're heading to the United States. And that's the way it is with a lot of these countries when these people are headed out. But now, what about all that oil? It's still being sold. United States and other countries say, oh, well, we're going to put a blockade on them. We're going to sanction them and this and that. Hey, they do. But when they put the sanctions on them, that means that they now can't sell the oil on the market. They have to sell it on the black market. And who's there buying it? Them same countries, rich countries, powerful countries. And so this guy's getting all this money, okay? And he gets all this money, the ones that's running the country, and the people get nothing. And they get treated as slaves. And so they want to run from that. Now that, I just used Venezuela as an example, but let's go to Africa, okay? You have in the Congo gold and diamonds and all that, and the leaders of the country is selling all that to Europe for pennies on the dollar. Pennies on the dollar. People don't get nothing. They're treated as slaves. So they're running. They're refugees. Okay. So when America sees all these people coming to their shores, because America is boasting and bragging, oh, we're land of the free, home of the brave, opportunity, you prosperous. You could come here and become a millionaire, So they load up the truck and they move to Beverly Hills. That is swimming pools, movie stars. And that's their illusion. That's their dream. They're seeing that. And so that's why they're running up here. Okay. Coming from all points south and east and west. They're running here. Because America's boasting and bragging and touting about how great they got it. And the lie manifests itself. Well, these white folks are getting a little upset because they're seeing all these black and brown people and they live in this bubble and they want it all white. Okay? They've always wanted it all white. And they came to this country, they came to the Americas. They came to the Americas before they came to this plot of land. But they came with intention to wipe out everybody and take it over as their own. That's the way they did in every country they've ever went to. And now here's somebody's promising on that. Okay. But what they failed to realize is that there's a world outside of the United States of America. And that world outside of the United States of America had bought into America's lie of democracy and freedom and all this stuff. And millions of people in Iraq in 2003 died and started dying and didn't stop. Okay, 2001, they started dying in Afghanistan and didn't stop. And you know what the reasoning was? We need a regime change. We're going to instill democracy. This is a war, as George Bush declared. It's a war of ideology. That's the way, what he called it. A war of ideology. That means the way you think. So millions of people have to die because the United States said, we're going to impose democracy on everybody. Okay. We're going to do a regime change. Well, you can't do that anymore. You can't come at them like that because you're not about democracy. And you've shown the world. And so they know it now. See, they see it. And they're sitting up saying, oh, I'll be damned. You come over here talking about democracy and you don't even have democracy in your shores. Who in the hell you? We ain't buying that bullshit. And so they seen it coming. Y'all didn't see it, but they seen it coming because Russia, Brazil, India, China, South Africa, they got together and started talking about this when Donald Trump, the first Donald Trump candidacy, presidential thing was together. They got together. They said, "Oh, these motherfuckers is losing." Donald Trump was pulling out of NATO, almost pulled out of NATO, and they needed to prepare themselves for the big takeover because see, the world exists and revolves around trade amongst each other. In the United States, those black and brown and yellow countries, that's who feeds the United States. Feed on everything. Textile, commodities, all that. Minerals, all that, which is commodities, but all that. They feed to it. The United States have now just threw their finger up to the rest of the world. And I'm okay with it because I've never lived the American dream. Yeah, I'm financially secure, as they like to put it. I live in a foreign country on a private island, or not private island, but, on a tropical island. Okay, that's how I live, where I live. That's not so good when 90% of my people don't prosper as well as me. They don't have the same freedoms and rights that I have living in a foreign land, not being a citizen of this land. I'm an immigrant in this land. Okay? And I have more rights living here and more freedom living here than any black person living in the United States of America. I can prove it every day. That's sad, but it's true. Um, so, with that being said, you need to know what all the trade shakeup is getting ready to happen. Um, BRICS, I mentioned to you before, starts with Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Okay, those are by design. Those put together by Putin, Vladimir Putin. He thought about it. He said, I'll go into each continent, important continent. He went into Asia, he got India, he went into Africa, he got South Africa. Okay. He went into the Americas, he got Brazil, and then there's himself. Okay. Over there on the edge of Europe. There's a reason for that. What is it, 195 countries in the world? And BRICS got all these countries wanting to be a part of BRICS. And what is BRICS? BRICS is currency, trade. That's what it is. It's trade, currency. They're backing their currency by gold in order to attract other countries. And so now, when you get the Central African countries joining on, and they will all trade with the West, as they call it, the West. They're talking about Europe and Americas and two Asian countries, believe it or not, which is New Zealand and Australia. They're considered the West because they're white supremacist nations. Okay, they are colonizers. Those aren't even their countries. They're colonized. They operate on the dollar. And any country that's going to be trying to hold on to that U.S. dollar is going to fall, and they're not going to be able to trade with the rest of the world. The United States, they're not going to be in that trade group. One of the reasons why they want Gaza so bad, they lie and tell you whatever they want. But that canal, uh, they're in Africa, North Africa. It's not going to be welcome to them anymore. So they're going to try to create a canal going right through Gaza. Okay. It's a trade route. Okay. That's what keeps them afloat. That's why they went after Noriega back in the day, because Noriega shut down the Panama Canal. And when that sucker did that, it was only down for 1 week, because you better believe United States, Europe, everybody went in there and got that son bitch up out of there. Okay. He didn't know what the hell he was doing or who he was messing with. That means something to them people. Now, your white neighbor, who's all excited because he think he hurting you. He's not hurting you. You ain't never had the rights that he had. But he's giving up his rights because he's under the illusion it's going to hurt you, and it's going to hurt those immigrants. Well, those immigrants, you send them back home. What if they decide to fight and overturn their governments? Okay, because see, their government is feeding America, and that's what I see happening already in Nigeria. They're saying, "Oh hell no, we're gonna put a stop to this motherfucker up here feeding Europe, and we starving." And they say that about Kenya as well. Okay, they're like, "Oh no, 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 we're gonna be like Burkina Faso," and they're pushing back, and they will get their way. So these white folks boasting and bragging about putting a man in there that's gonna pull back from NATO, you're false. It's all global white supremacy. And all those countries are prepared to do away with the US dollar. It ain't shit. Because it's been built off of greed, lies, distrust, the World Bank, controlling every damn thing. Okay. And it's going to be a problem for them. I'm going to tell you going forward, Korea's going to make their move. China's going to make their move. Korea making their move on becoming one country. The United States split that country up like they did Vietnam, like they did Cuba, tried to do Cuba. They wasn't even successful with Cuba. But Timor, um, they did that. They went around splitting countries up. All right. Split up Germany, all these countries that you heard there was north and west, or, north and south, or east and west, Oh, no, no. Korea's going to be back one country. Okay. China is going to get their land back that was colonized years ago by the British. It's called Taiwan. That is China. No ifs and buts about it. That's their land. So they'll be getting that back, making that move. The United States is running around here trying to help uh, those white Germans uh, keep Palestine suppressed, oppressed, enslaved. Because those are white Germans. No mistake about it. Nazis calling themselves Jews, and they will admit that they're not a Jew. Okay. Yeah. The United States spending too much money, too much resources, too much energy on that. And it's like that's how Hitler lost World War II. Trying to fight too many fronts. You can't fight too many fronts. I swear to God, you can't. I don't care what kind of weaponry you got. They can't do it. And what I'm doing is waking brothers up to the fact that they won't do it with us. We have our own grievances. Okay. Uh, I'm not going to be running around here talking about fighting for somebody's freedom, and I can't walk down the goddamn street without worrying about being shot by a cop. Every black mama in the country sits up and talks to her little old teenage boy from the time they 12, 13 years old, begging them, pleading them. Police say something to you, fall down to your knees, throw your hands in the air. That's what she says to him. Stay alive. Stay alive. Fear that motherfucker. This is the reality of living black in America. And I'm saying, that's a grievance I have. And my brethren have it. And so I'm trying to get them together. And that's what my podcast is all about. So, as I say in all my podcasts, you tell Uncle Joe, tell Grandpa, Nathan want to talk to you. You know, free trip to the Philippines. Okay. We're going to get your tickets and get you here so that we can get together and we can organize and then go coast to coast, city to city, talking to brothers, town hall meetings. And at the same time, we will have up and running a website that will be all encompassing. It will have all kind of community information. I don't care what little neighborhood you from, what community you from. You just hit and click and you'll see exactly what's going on at your home next door to you. You will see what police are criminals, serial criminals. I mean, they're committing felonies every day, all day on people. And when you start posting them and people start putting their picture in their yard, okay, so that people could see as they drive by, You guys, this it's going to be like that. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. The word is going to be out, and the world's going to then start looking at us. Oh my, they've made a move, because that's what the world's waiting on. They waiting on you to make a move, because they know that you the only thing that can bring this bitch down. And we got Donald Trump to help us. Okay, him and his administration, because they living under a bowl. They just think it's going to. They think they didn't hit the goddamn lottery now. They are so excited and so happy because they could just see themselves. Just one of the things that got them so excited is that greed level. I told you about greed before. How I'd be playing the gambling game and just keep going and keep going and keep going. That's greed. Okay. We all have that greed connection. Something can tap into our greed. Well, Wall Street ain't no different. And the Social Security is setting up there with all that money. I mean, you guys don't have any idea how much money Social Security has. Because, see, ain't nobody been able to tap into it and use it other than to give out little checks and shit and little Medicare and Medicaid. People have been putting money into that bank. Oh, my God, for the longest. And now these motherfuckers are so excited they get to open up the barrel. They get to go after that money in Social Security. That's there. They've been talking about privatizing that for the longest. That means privatizing means taking it away from the people and giving it to corporate America, Wall Street, to gamble with. Yeah, don't even sound right, do it? That's what they be meaning when they be saying, "Oh, we won't touch Social Security. Your Social Security is okay." No, it ain't. They gonna get that. They excited. These big corporations that gave all that money to Donald Trump, they were buying favor because they knew he was going to be president. They wanted to buy favor. They did not want that man mad at them. Okay. Newspapers refused to even endorse anybody because they wanted to buy favor with that. Because they know that man is now the most powerful man in the world. He has no safeguards. Supreme Court said that he could go out and order SEAL Team 6 to go and kill his adversaries. That's what the Supreme Court said. They asked his attorney, "Is this what you're saying?" And his attorney said, "Yep, he should be allowed to do that." And they turned around and said, "Okay, we'll give him all immunity. He should have all immunity." Yeah, that did away with the Supreme Court. They just unseated themselves because there's no need for him now. He makes the decisions now. They don't set laws. They don't set rules anymore. He's be all be all. That's what autocracy means. He don't answer to nobody. So the Supreme Court just signed itself out. Sounds good, don't it? That's if you've never had what your white neighbors have had. Freedom. Now they don't. They've given it all up because they thought they were really only hurting you. Yeah. Not so. Because to cut your nose off to spite your face is a fool's errand. And that's what they've done. I laugh at them. And they'll get mad at me if they see me laughing at them. Because I'll sit up and tell them to their face. And they know I'm telling the truth. I'll look at them and I'll ask them. And I've seen this on a TV program one. Little boy asked the white man, he said, "Would you rather be a black man and live for 100 years or a white man?" that lived for 50. And that motherfucker almost choked because he don't want to live for 1 year being a black man. And I ask people, especially white guys, would you want to wear a black man disguise, walk down one of these white private neighborhoods, okay, and have police called on you, and then be able to sit up and do the white man thing and argue with the police? First thing they'll say is, oh, hell, it's suicide. So they are under the understanding that you don't have any goddamn right. It's just that you don't know that because there's so many black folks I hear talking leading up to the election like Captain Save-A-Hole. We got to save America, democracy. Oh, that man get in, democracy's gone. Yeah, you're right. But you don't have nothing to do with that. You don't have a dog in that fight. Okay? You want to save democracy. Motherfucker, you ain't never experienced democracy. You don't know what freedom is. Not you got sitting up here telling your children how to walk and talk and act around these people. Your kids go to school and they getting attacked by the what they call the security officers, which are police officers, getting beat, getting kicked out of school. And the one school down in the Carolinas, white kids came in with Nazi flags and KKK flags and all that, yelling about nigger this, nigger, and the white kids, not one bit of punishment ever came to them. Black kids, that's terrorism. We're terrorized. You live in terror every day. And I've never heard one black person sit up and say, we need to get our kids out of there. That's a hostile environment. One black girl, three white boys savagely beat her. I mean, they punched her. It's all on video. Just beat this girl down. They didn't get suspended from school. That's terrorism. You want to live in terror? It don't matter who's president because you're coming out of a democratic presidential White House. All Democrat. And not one iota, one thing been said about your situation living in America. So stop thinking that your interest, any interest, and the only interest you should be concerned with is your safety. But you have none. So in the grand scheme of things, the big picture is that the world now will be able to reject America's lie. And you should be okay with that because America has been bullying the world for too long. And at the same time, denying you any freedoms at all. So worry about your own self, okay? And let America deal with her own mess. Because I've said it before, you guys got the best case for a Declaration of Independence than I've ever heard in my life. You have the best case. When you read about them farmers, okay, who got together and went against King George and wrote up their Declaration of Independence, they knew they were committing treason, but they were willing to sacrifice their life for their freedom. It's time that you realize you're not free, because maybe then you'll realize you have something to fight for. Okay? Because you're not free. Only thing gonna free you is Disobedience on a grand scale, social disobedience. Use that so-called right of assembly. You try it a lot when you do what's called protest. The protest is begging and asking somebody for something. What I call for is assembly, um, to have town hall meetings, to get together and talk. Nobody can stop you from that. And the reason they'll put the brakes on so quick is because every place I will have town hall meetings will have right to bear arms. Like say a state like Georgia or Florida, where you are allowed, state of Ohio, you are allowed, state of Texas, you are allowed to carry a gun. And if you got thousands and thousands of black men coming together for a meeting, and every one of them armed, I bet you a dime to a dollar, there ain't gonna be not one white there to try to stop you. Okay? Because you got to bring some ass to get something. But if you walking around with your hands in the air, talking about massa, please stop beating us. Talking about I'm non-violent. Yeah, that's what you want to hear. Okay? Because that's what fucked old Iraq up. That motherfucker went and said, come on in my country. I don't have any weapons of mass destruction. I don't have any chemical weapons. Because those Kurds was killed with chemical weapons that the United States used to kill them people. And he didn't have any chemical. If he did, he would have used them. But, oh, come on in. And when they went in and found out that that food didn't have no chemical weapons, no nuclear weapons, no anything, okay? No weapons of mass destruction. We mean, he didn't even have cluster bombs. And when they said, oh, you don't have nothing. So then that's when they went in and they tapped that ass. Okay, they invaded because they knew he didn't have shit. But the day they invaded Iraq, Iran jumped up and said, we got nukes. North Korea jumped up and said, we got nukes. Because in George Bush's speech, he said the three axes of evil. And the three axes of evil was North Korea, Iran, and Iraq. And he went after Iraq when he found out they didn't have shit. But then as soon as they did that, oh shit, North Korea jumped up and said, oh no, we got nukes. And so they ain't fucked with North Korea. They talk about them a lot. They talk about Iran. They really don't want to go into Iran. Netanyahu's pushing them, trying to get them to fight Iran. He's attacking everybody in the region. Iran, everybody. He's just dropping bombs on them. He's trying to get the United States in there. Okay, because he needs their help. He want to exploit the U.S. But U.S. is like, shit, the motherfuckers, they gonna fight back. And we're not used to people fighting us back. You ever notice whenever one of these fools get grabbed up by the police, he by himself. They don't want to fight. They get them that joker in handcuffs so quick and then start beating the life out of him. That one fella, they beat him for 41 minutes. They had 41 minutes of video down there in Louisiana. State police killed that man. And all he kept yelling and begging and pleading with him, I'm your brother. That one's the one that got me when he said that shit. Because that's stupid shit my brother would say. My blood brother would say. He loved these motherfuckers. He think that he's supposed to be, we're all one. No, we're not. The motherfuckers made by a different entity. And they have a different purpose. Okay? No. And they beat that man for 41 minutes. And do you know they couldn't bring not one charge on any of them else? Now, when you beat somebody for 41 minutes, that's no longer anything other than torture. Because it only takes 30 some seconds to put a man in handcuffs, restrain him, throw him in a cruiser, take him to jail. Boom. So all that beating is for what? That's murder. And you don't have prosecutors that's willing to prosecute, judges that's willing to give sentences, juries that's willing to find guilty. you're not an American citizen. And they show you it every day. But now, if you are armed and you standing with your brothers, ain't nobody gonna fuck with you. But don't be running around here with your hands in the air. Talking about you ain't got nothing. That's asking for them because see, this is coward you fight. That's the only way he wants to fight. You don't want to fight heads up. He's not. No, he's not capable of that. Okay, so believe that. And you guys, relationship with him is one is scared and the other one is glad he is. Because this one is glad he is can't do shit. And as long as this one's scared, this one can do whatever he wants. So yeah, one is scared and the other one's glad he is. Tell him, Joe, give me a holler. Okay, bring home. Because we got to get some stuff together here. All right. Um, Sorry I've been to your ear for so long that I needed to. You guys need to know how big this thing goes and who the loser is. You're not the loser. I know you believe that. When Civil War broke out, a lot of them folks on that plantation thought they were losers. Okay. They really did. They didn't know what to do. And they even said it. Where will we go? What will we do? Nobody to feed us, clothe us, house us. We're lost. But cream rises to the top. Because within just a few years, they had their own Wall Street. Several of them. One in Durham, North Carolina, one in Wilmington, North Carolina, one in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Wall Streets. They was trading. They was handling money. They had a big banking system that was bigger, better than the U.S. Not bigger, but better than the ones in the U.S. Yeah. So listen to me here. This is a good thing. I know it don't seem like it, but the first shot has been fired. Toby, you be pretty. All right? I'll show you how to do it. All right? Listen, hey, I love you. I am Nathan Robinson, and I am bad boy.